What's up, guys? It's Benny. There's something about extremely weaponized autism that makes you intentionally or unintentionally hilarious, and Elon Musk is somebody who is both of those things, and in moments like this, he can cause entire rooms to burst into laughter with this shot at Bill Gates on the Epstein.
To ask you about US aid and the comments that Bill Gates made the other day, and I know that you called him...
Yeah, he's a huge liar.
I know, you've said that already. I wondered...
Also,
and I'm just...
Who does Bill Gates think he is to make comments about the welfare of children, given that he frequented Jeffrey Epstein?
Okay, well, he said he regrets those, and he spent a lot of his own money on philanthropy around the world over the years. My question to you is, have you...
Okay, all right. Who is Bill Gates to talk about the welfare of children? Well, who is Bill Gates exactly, and what is his connection to Jeffrey Epstein? Well, they were best buddies. Jeffrey Epstein even blackmailed him. Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed and tried to extort into Bill Gates over extramarital affair with a very young Russian bridge player who was half Bill Gates' age, who allegedly Jeffrey Epstein introduced him to and lent him his mansion in New York a couple times. You know, the kind of thing where you get compromising blackmail material on guys like Bill Gates. But just know the funny thing happened on the way to putting guys like Bill Gates in prison, along with Jeffrey Epstein. The DOJ has said that no one was blackmailed. Even though there's reports of Jeffrey Epstein blackmailing people. You can find this report written in the Wall Street Journal, in the New York Times. It's been written about at length. There's like a 50,000 word essay about the entire relationship between Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein in the Financial Times. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a blackmail operation. The DOJ is lying to you. There is a client list, yes, and Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. It's been a very frustrating day because, well, those of us who pay attention to this kind of stuff, know this because you can see it. There's photographs of it in multi-million pound settlements from the royal family and Prince Andrew getting stripped of his royal title and royal duties because of it. That doesn't just happen because somebody made up a claim, right? No, that happened because it happened. And even your best friends say it happened. The feds say it happened, like Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender by 2008. Why did the powerful stick with him? The powerful, like Bill Gates, became friends with Epstein after the sexual predator charges. Yes, Bill Gates has been found guilty of underage prostitution and running sex rings by the federal government and the state government of Florida. So was Ghislaine Maxwell found guilty. So to say that they didn't traffic anything to anyone, well, if that's the case, one, why is everybody who knew about the trafficking ring dead? Like Virginia Roberts here, God rest her soul, the face truly of Epstein abuse, who spoke out, and now she's dead. And then two, why don't you just let Ghislaine Maxwell out of prison? Ghislaine Maxwell's doing 20 years, hard time, for running a global sex sting prostitution ring of underage girls. Ghislaine Maxwell was in charge. Why does Ghislaine Maxwell get to spend 20 years behind bars and then none of the clients do? Was Ghislaine Maxwell trafficking kids to herself? Is that it? She's trafficking little girls to herself? None of it makes sense. Listen. A lot of people very frustrated with Elon Musk right now. I'm one of them. I don't think that starting a third party is a smart idea. But I got to tell you, he's been rage tweeting about this Epstein stuff. And it's, is he wrong? Official Jeffrey Epstein pedophile arrest counter, 0. What's that time? Oh, look, it's no one has been arrested o'clock again. Elon Musk sending this at 4 a.m. Next, the DOJ will say, actually, Jeffrey Epstein never even existed. They want us to believe that 40-room mansion and all those trafficked kids were just for Epstein? Nah, I'm not buying it. buying it. I'm buying it. Getting cooked, man. I think that if there were any evidence, either side could use it against the other. It would be plastered all over everything, unless both sides were guilty, says Elon Musk. Elon Musk, we will release the Epstein list. We just need more time. The Epstein list is on my desk. There is no Epstein list. Oh, no. The Epstein list hangs itself moments before release. I can't believe that conspiracy theorists will claim the list didn't even hang itself. Look at this. We know they're lying. They know they're lying. They know that we know they're lying. And they still continue to lie. Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Bondi says Epstein client list sitting on my desk right now and is reviewing files. Exclusive DOJ FBI said there's no client list. Man, this is heavy. There's a chain of command on this planet, says Cernovich. And elite pedophiles are at the very top, even above Trump, way above him. Elon Musk saying, there's a troubling subtext to the player of games where Lane Banks alludes to elite pedophiles secretly controlling an alien society. Perhaps it was a critique of Earth. Interesting. You know, Bill Barr's dad wrote a book called Space Relations. That was about elite pedophiles controlling the planet. Look it up. It's very interesting. Bill Barr's dad, of course, a founding member of the CIA, and somebody who hired Jeffrey Epstein, connected him with Ghislaine Maxwell, and so on. Elon Musk. If there were no clients, why is Ghislaine Maxwell still in jail? That's right. Well, how was she convicted of sex trafficking? How is that possible? There's no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. So then why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison for? Stuff like this does not improve people's faith in the government. That's exactly right. Stuff like this does not improve people's faith in the government. Here's the unedited video that the feds put out that show at least a minute deleted from the official Epstein tapes. This is the footage of the Epstein tear block inside of the federal penitentiary in Manhattan. And you can see here the whole minute. A whole minute has been removed from it. Goodness gracious. What a mess. Ben's saying, this is why we need a formal DOJ task force, the Epstein affair, so these types of questions can be answered quickly, directly, and officially. Set up the DOJ Epstein Transparency Task Force for 6 months, and set aside every Friday for a public to ask questions. There you go. Like, you can kill them with absolute transparency. Elon goes nuclear over Epstein files memo. Why Ghislaine Maxwell still in jail? Who was she sex trafficking to? This is the final straw, Elon Musk on a tirade. What happened to the client list is on my desk. What happened to the Epstein files part 2? What happened to those magical binders? What a farce. This is the final straw. Yeah. It's not been good. The release has not been good. There's a way to fix it. That way to fix it is, of course, extremely radical transparency, which is what I advocate for. You see, the problem with the DOJ and the FBI is they're operating under the false pretense that, well, we are still living in the 1950s or 60s, 70s, or even 80s, or even the 1990s, but we are not. Unfortunately, for decades, the DOJ and the FBI leadership has been lying to the American people in demonstrable ways. So the FBI and DOJ currently are facing an absolute crisis, and that is that Americans' trust in their institutions hover around 0%. We've hit rock bottom, absolute crisis. Team Trump did not break these institutions, but they own them now, so they inherit the nightmare. This is why the old "just trust us, bro, we looked into it" doesn't work. There's only one way to solve the Epstein crisis: release everything. Texts, emails, passports, art, furniture, tours of property, cars, bank accounts, all communications and cookbooks. Show the American people all the evidence that makes you confident in your Epstein assessment. I'll show you where to start. This is an FBI photo of Jeffrey Epstein's mansion. Here's his safe. Inside this bag are a bunch of passports. That's strange. Epstein was using other names on foreign passports. Why don't you show us those? There's no predator material in that. you're not like hurting anyone. Show us those passports. Here's a box of diamonds. Where are those diamonds from? Where are they now? Why don't you show us those things and prove that there is like some trust in the American people that we can handle it and we can see this evidence. That's how you restore faith. Ladies and gentlemen, till then, prepare to be mocked again and again and again. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe for truth, at least as much as we can give you.